What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of the 49ers Round Check, and the guys are a little late, but we got my co-host, David McNiner. How's it going, bro?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing well. I guess David didn't get the email, or he must have accidentally deleted, but I'll resend it quickly. So for the moment, let my co-host David talk about what he feels like, and I'll be back shortly.
Well, let's talk about Jake Brendel and his 12 penalties for I don't know how many yards that led all NFL centers. That's right. He was number one in the league at something.
Number one in penalties, right, too?
That's exactly it.
But
and then we got
this guy. They want to overhype him, and then the guy couldn't even take criticism.
Yep. And then, I honestly still think we're better off signing a veteran. That Bradley Bozeman guy is out there.
Oh, yeah.
And, he wasn't a 4-year starter at Baltimore. He was a 3-year starter. And then he missed a little bit of injury time at Carolina. And their young center, came to pass. And then he came in and started at guard for him. But at the same time, the guy has 3 years starting experience at center, and he is very solid. And the fact that he had that injury last year and it was a 1-year deal, I honestly think we could get him at a decent price. I don't think he's going to break the bank.
I think it'll be very reasonable. But hey, let's welcome our guests, BGN Sports, and we got our favorite guest of the world, David Corona, which is the coronavirus. We can't catch that.
the Corona beer, your favorite.
Yeah, Corona beer. Yeah. I'm just playing around. But hey, Big Mac, how do you feel, man? How do you feel, Big Mac?
I feel good. It's a Monday. I can't wait to watch some of these college players this week coming up on this.
What's up, McNiner?
Are they going to be in Indianapolis? Is that where they're at?
Yeah, Lucas Oil Stadium. They're going to do that combine on Thursday.
Can't wait to see those guys, the combine, and then from there, we'll know where everybody stands on who they're trying to. We can only speculate, but that's good. That's good for us, right?
Last year we didn't have an idea who they were going to draft, but I had a little bit of a heads up on who they might have had interest of, and it just turned out to be the other way around. So sometimes it's always for the better. But when we look at the Niners draft strategy, they always if they're going to go offensive lineman, it has to be versatility. And that's where Spencer Burford did fit in last year, was this versatility. He did play guard and play tackle. But a certain big-name content creator messed up on his little segment. So I tagged him on Twitter to correct him about what Spencer did in college. And his response was, my bad. And priceless, bro. I got nothing against Grant. He does a really good job. But when he said he played all 4 years at UTSA at right tackle, bro, I had to correct him on that one, straight up.
Yeah.
Who knows O-line besides me?
I like your video with the broom with the Rams.
Oh, that? But David Corona, man. How's it feel? Hey, what's up, BGN family, Pacific Islander? It's good to see you.
I feel good, man. Just waiting for the draft and let's see who we get in free agent and to make our team a little bit better, so we could go to that big game.
Yeah, there's going to be some good options, but free agency.
I just got a Google right now that said Tom Brady might sign with a team this year. He's not retiring.
I don't want to hear this Tom Brady not retire. He could come back. It depends on what team wants him, but
yeah.
Man, it's like the Favre watch, right? Everybody remember the Favre watch, right? Where when was this guy going to ever retire? Is this what Brady's going to do? Is pull a Brett Favre?
The reason I ghosted ESPN was the Brett Favre talk. Ghosted him. I have not been on ESPN since, and that was like 2007.
I mean, it's been going on forever, but when you listen, okay, like Big Mac, when you listen to Tom Brady, man, doesn't that seem like the Brett Favre saga again?
I don't even want to hear about that because, man, what's Tom Brady going to do? We saw how he did against the San Francisco 49er defense, and we're going to face some pretty good defense this coming year. So,
Yeah.
If he goes back 5 years, then come in and I would have liked him being here 5 years ago. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. I would have liked him about 5 years ago. I still would take Rodgers right now because he's still got a good arm, but I don't think he's even in it.
I mean, if you look at Aaron Rodgers' attitude, bro, I don't even want him. Period. Like
that's what I'm saying. His heart's not there to play the game.
I mean,
Tom Brady said he wants all the rings on his fingers. That's what he said.
But I thought he was done.
I just got to Google like 10 minutes ago. He said he's coming. He's gonna sign it with a team, but don't know what team yet.
What you say, bro? He said it might be true that Tom Brady might do some comedy. Oh my God! But isn't he
comedy
on Fox Sports?
I think he's competing with Greg Olsen.
You got that right.
I think he's competing with Greg Olsen for that spot. I heard there's like an exchange war between him and Greg Olsen that he might even take Greg Olsen's spot. Man, that would suck just to lose your job to a guy who eventually retired. He should have retired years ago, but you lose it to a freaking guy who's almost 50 years old.
Hey, man, don't be talking about it that way.
Well, man's old, but he can't never. But he doesn't. I mean, he kind of looks ageless. You can't deny that. I mean, the guy plays like a youngster, even though he's like in his 40s.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna have to look younger, so I'm gonna put this hat on. Here we go.
You look fine, bro.
I got mine. Hold on.
Oh, look at that. The beanie cap crew, man. So we got the cap crew. We got David McNiner with his own cap. We got yours.
Hold on. Let me go get my hat. I go get my hat right now.
Go. Make sure that you go get a Corona beer hat.
No, I don't know about that. I think you're hat.
Yeah, this guy's funny, man. But free agency is going to be coming right down the corner in a few weeks, so there's some intriguing options. But I did put that one guy from the Chiefs on the cover because I think we might want to get him. What do you guys think of Colin Sanders, bro? That's the guy I want.
Well, I honestly don't know anything about him. So how big is he?
He's about as big as DJ Jones, just like maybe 20 pounds heavier, but the same athleticism, very disruptive. Okay. He's been ascending. So with the Chiefs, last season, he had about 3.5 sacks. This was his breakout year. He had more snaps. And in the Super Bowl, he was that guy that forced that fumble on the sack play on Jalen Hurts. So that guy came off a big play. He's very disruptive. He kind of gives you that DJ Jones vibe a little bit. So he's a little heavier, but more athletic than DJ Jones. So it's like if you sign this guy, I think he's going to be on a bargain deal because he's not a big name yet, but he could be.
That's the biggest question is money, because money is what the 49ers don't have a whole lot with. And so how to maneuver around all of those things.
Yeah, how we maneuver all the stuff is beyond us. I think we're going to have to do some pay cuts. Like I think Christian McCaffrey and quite a few players are going to do some pay cuts. So that's going to be pretty significant. I don't think Armstead is willing. I don't know if Armstead will take a pay cut, but I think if you give him a pay cut, he has to extend another contract. So that will probably be big for us to keep him around a little longer if we give him more pay cuts. So once we get to the draft, it's going to be coming up pretty soon. But
when's the free agent pick when we could sign people? When's that?
I think March 15 will be the actual official date, and I think the signing, I think the tampering period would be on the 13th, I believe, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, they can talk to free agent players on the 13th, bring them in and everything, and then on the 15th they can negotiate and do contracts.
Yeah, they can negotiate under the tampering period. But I think we are going to focus on getting a center or potentially getting an offensive lineman or a guard too. But there's been talks that maybe my boy Spencer might have to switch back to tackle. What do you guys think of the possibility that maybe we might have to switch him back to his natural position and go get a guard? Or you think it's a good idea, or do we stick with Spencer at that guard spot?
Hold on. Go get a guard? Or is the plan to start Zakel at center, Jason Poe at right guard, and move Burford over?
That could be one of the options. Zakel didn't play last year, so he might have been redshirt to maybe play center. Who knows? They did draft him because of his versatility. They forget about Zakel.
Like how we pull guards. Shanahan's offense, we pull guards all the time. So you need someone that's athletic. And Jason Poe 100% fits that.
Yep, very, very athletic, but everybody talks about his size. I think he makes up for it, man.
He's 6 foot, 300 pounds. He'll talk about low pad level. He's going to be able to win.
Absolutely.
So I don't see his size being an issue.
Low man always wins. That's what we look at. And plus, he's not even he's about 6'1" or 6'2" offensive lineman. I guess you can say it is what it is, but playing center wouldn't be a difficult transition because he played center and guard in college. So he knows what it's like to play the position. He even played fullback in college too. He's got a lot of athleticism traits.
But if that doesn't work, if they don't want to do that, let's bring somebody in the draft, a young kid, so somebody could teach him more, and he'd be on the team for a while.
There's this center I do like, the guy from Arkansas, Ricky Stomberg. I like him. Or I heard that the guy from Notre Dame who's playing guard can play center too. Jarrett Peterson. Okay. Or is it Jarrett Patterson or Peterson? I don't know which one it is, but he's coming off of Notre Dame as an interior offensive lineman. So I looked up the mock drafts, and he's listed as an interior line, but they have him as a guard, not even as a center yet. But I've seen him listed as a center on different draft boards. So he might be interesting.
I got somebody from the UCLA's is the left guard, but he can also play right tackle too. So
that's the guy who
Antonio Mafi. He's at UCLA.
He looks pretty good too.
Yeah. He's in the Bay Area.
Oh, is he related to you?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, but the name sounds like. I'm just playing that.
Yeah, he's got my first name as a last name. I know a lot of Mafis from the Bay and out here.
So he's a guard, right? I think he's listed as a guard for UCLA. So I think he would probably be the only way I would be okay with maybe drafting a guard is if they are planning to move Burford at that right tackle spot. Then I can understand the move. But
this guy, he's I was watching his highlights with BTR, and they pull him a ton. They put him on the right side, on the left side, pulling guard. So they pull him a ton, and he's 375 pounds.
Damn. He's a big man. That's a big guy.
Yeah.
He can move. If you want to keep Burford at that guard spot, there's this mammoth of a big offensive lineman from Ohio State, bro. This guy is a big dude. He can move for his size. You know who I'm talking about? DeJuan Jones, bro. DeJuan Jones, bro. 6 foot. What is it? 6'9", almost 400 freaking pounds.
That'd be a good guy to get there.
Gigantic boy, but he can move.
That'd be a good guy to get there.
I think the problem is he's a little overweight. That's what Shanahan does not want. But man, that's a massive upside right there.
Yeah, that's a good. He's a good player too. Just watching him play in college, man. I mean, he erases that side of the field. I saw
some tapes during the Senior Bowl, and this guy was like a brick wall, bro.
Yeah, he's big. He's like the guy that we used to have, but then
Trent Brown.
Yeah, That's how big he is, like that. But he's more athletic.
Okay, I think Zakel can either play center, if I'm being honest. I think they have him as potentially being a center or a guard. Even right tackle is another option, but he is a sleeper. Because last year, there's certain players we put in red shirts. Nobody didn't know who Aaron Banks was before he played last year. So it's possible maybe we might have red shirts at Cal to be the guy.
He stepped up. He stepped up this year, man.
Yeah, Jarrett Patterson, whatever his name is. He's the one from Notre Dame that I heard about. He plays like the guard and center position, and he's really good. Usually Notre Dame produces pretty good offensive linemen. They know how to run block and all that stuff.
Except for the one guy that we have, he's pretty bad at pass blocking, but he's good at run blocking.
Wish we could get.
Banks played together at Notre Dame.
That's a long shot. What you say? I think we're probably just going to go other needs, but Zach Pickens, man. I mean, the draft's kind of giving me some vibes a little bit, but Zach Pickens, bro. I don't know if I want to take a flyer on another South Carolina D-line, bro. It's because of Javon Kinlaw. I got to blame it on him.
Oh, yeah.
I can't take a flyer, but Pickens doesn't look that bad. It looks decent. I mean, I checked out some of his films in South Carolina. He is kind of a fit. He's what is it, like 305, 6'3"? No, wait, I looked up his weight. I think he's about almost the same size as Javon Kinlaw, but more athletic compared to what I've seen on this tape. Not bad of a player, but if I really wanted to get somebody in the draft at D tackle, I would take a flyer on my guy from Oklahoma, Jalen Redmond, or a couple of Texas players who I hate, but they got some ballers in the D tackle spots that I like. Moro Jamo, or whatever how you say his name, he fits the criteria of what we run. Then there's another guy, but he's a gigantic run stopper. But the one player I do like in the draft that nobody even pays attention to is I actually put some film on this kid. I heard that he's actually going to be a sleeper. Deswan Johnson from Toledo, bro. He's going to be under the radar.
He looks good too.
Oh, we got Twin Empire. We got him in the building. Hey, he's welcome to the group today, bro. How's it going?
What's cracking, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
Doing great,
good.
man.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. Kids finally want to lay down and act right.
Yeah, it's all good, bro. We're just mixing it up with free agency talk and some draft talks here and there. But what's on your mind?
How y'all doing?
Doing good, bro.
Doing good, man. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm just excited to be here. I know I'm coming in. What y'all in here talking about right now?
Oh, we're talking like the free agency and the draft, but we're actually kind of mixing up the draft right now. So what's on your mind, bro? Like, what type of draft prospect are you looking at, man?
Oh man, inside out, man. I'm just trying to look at the hog mogs, man. What we about to do inside the middle? Whether it's in the middle of the interior of the offensive line and also in the middle of the defensive line as well, man. So hopefully we'll make a couple draft picks to kind of secure our center position, right tackle, and also, I think they might even draft somebody on the left tackle as well to kind of groom. I know we all have Trent Williams, but the last couple of years he's ended the year with some lower leg injury, whether it's his calf, his ankle. We can't always rely on him as he's aging. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, on the defensive end, we need to make sure we get somebody in the middle, not knowing what's going to happen with Javon Kinlaw. And then with Armstead, he wasn't necessarily injury-prone early on in his career, but as of late, he has been getting injured a lot more frequently. So, and then we already know what's going on with Javon Kinlaw. So maybe get somebody in the middle as well to establish that, and another edge rusher to kind of help out with Mickey Bosa.
Yep, that's what we're looking at. There's some draft sleepers. I'm hearing this guy's name a lot. Carl Brooks from Bowling Green. He's kind of moving up the draft boards a little bit because I've seen his name pop up a lot in mock drafts. And usually when I do these mock draft stuff, I do my own create mock drafts. He pops into the draft board. I'm like, okay, I got to check his film. And I like what he's done on Bowling Green. He even did well in the Senior Bowl, too, which is crazy for his big size. I mean, I think he plays the end for a 300-pound dude. So, David, what do you think of all these value picks, bro? Like, you look at guys like Carl Brooks, who I didn't even know about, and he's already popping off the draft radar.
Well, go ahead, David.
Well, when it comes down to it, I 100% trust all our guys that do the late round draft picks, all our scouts, Adam Peters and the gang. I 100% trust them. It seems like we don't do well in the first, second, and the third round is kind of iffy. It just seems like we just don't do well there, We do have Nick Bosa, we have Brandon Ayuk, we have Debo, and Aaron Banks.
That's the ones who pan out pretty well.
Who else in the first and second round have we picked that panned out? Not
majority of them haven't been out. So it's like Bosa's like the only one that's turned out fine. If we're going before the regime, well, Armstead was a first round pick, but he was way before Kyle Shanahan's regime, so that doesn't matter. So when you look at our talent, okay, like the rest of our talent, we usually go pretty well in the late rounds. So fifth rounds are gems. So third round, we always get a 50-50 with these players. Because third round picks, they always turn out to be pretty solid. But once we go deeper into the late rounds, like fourth to fifth rounds to the sevens, we've always hit the bigger ones. We've gotten the DJ Jones of the world, which he cashed in free agency, did pretty well elsewhere. You get a lot of those Dre Greenlaws, man. We get those undrafted guys. The one thing I hate about the approach in the draft is, why do we draft a running back too damn early? They don't do nothing.
It seems like every time we draft a running back too damn early.
Yeah, hey, shout out
to they get hurt a lot too.
Yeah, hey, shout out to Brandon. What's up, man? How's it going? Terradone, how's it going? Nathan Baraga, how's it going? Everybody else, man, what's going on in the building? But yeah, I don't like how we just draft running backs too high, man. They're just not like if you get them in the late rounds or even undrafted. I like our approach. Get them undrafted at least. You get another free Jordan Mason,
Yeah, man. For some reason, whenever we get an RB, man, it's like they show potential, show flashes, similar to what Eli Mitchell did. And then for some reason, my man can't stay upright. I know he has a very aggressive running style. It's always something with his knees, unfortunately, man. And that's been the sad part with him, because whenever he has been able to run the ball, he's been very productive. We didn't see too much about from TDP. He had a little bit of playing time, but I think a lot of us would have liked to see him get more opportunities, but we don't necessarily know what was going on with him behind the scenes. It could be a locker room thing, could be a book thing. It could be just a professional thing as well. We know how Kyle is. And also with Jordan Mason, I think whenever he did get the opportunity, he ran well also, but he was a special team player, and they didn't necessarily want to take him off of special teams and have him running the ball all the time as a running back, RB3. And so hopefully this year, man, we get to see more those carries split, because I don't think we can be able to see CMC. Well, I don't want CMC to run the ball the way that he ran it, the entirety of the year next year. I would love him to split carries with a guy like Jordan Mason, or if Eli get, healthy. But I'm not even going to try to put, my hopes in Eli right now. We're just going to stick to the guy who kind of stays consistently healthy, and that's Jordan Mason. And hopefully we can see a little bit more TDP as well.
That's what we're hoping for, because you spend a high draft pick on a guy like TDP, who you could have waited to the fourth round or later, but instead they really like this guy. But it gives me that Trey Sermon vibes a little bit, because last year previous years before we got TDP, we traded 2 fourth-round picks to get Trey Sermon from that pick spot. So, I just don't like the value. I don't like the approach of just go for running backs too early if they don't do pretty well. Like, it's like our track record is, our track record for getting these guys at that spot is just worthless. But like Terradone said it best, bro, I just don't see no point of getting running backs at that spot, man. Just maybe 6th round, 6th to 7th round. Maybe you can take a flyer and go from there. I mean, there's a couple of running backs I do like, but I wouldn't want to take a running back that early. There is this one running back that I might make an exception for if he gets in the 6th or 7th round pick. I don't know if he'll be there, but Chris Rodriguez Jr. from Kentucky, he gives me more of that. He gives me more of that Isaiah Pacheco vibe, the running back from the Chiefs that played pretty well. He's a good physical running back too. Like if you watch his tape from Kentucky, he's a very physical type running back. He's got speed a little bit here and there, but he can finish up plays at times. Now that's a guy I would be okay with, but I wouldn't want to take a flyer on a guy like Eric Gray, even though if he slides in the late rounds, then take a flyer on this kid, maybe. But nah. But Big Mac, man, what do you think about the values of these running backs, man? I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you.
I think he's on mute or.
Yeah, he's on mute.
Oh, he's talking, but I don't know.
Can you hear him? No.
I can hear him a little bit, not too much.
You might need to come back in and out. Maybe it's because of the. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I can't hear him.
Yeah, that's what happens with it. Like, usually I get that issue with my web too. So it's like sometimes I'll have the volume thing, and he even said it's muted. So it's kind of like in between there. Yeah, spot on. I'll admit it until Shanahan proves me otherwise, bro. He's given us a team, but we just never finish. That's the problem. Like, we can be critical about our football team, but Shanahan can always keep us contending. But until he wins the big one, I can't deny the choking part, bro. It's just until he gets over the hump a little bit, then I'll finally give him his credit. But as of right now, I got to be his big critics. And I know how you feel.
What's my guy name from the I can see his face with gray hair from the Buffalo Bills. What's my coach name? Back in the early 90s.
Marv Levy.
Marv Levy, yeah. But hey man, Shanahan, don't be no Marv Levy, my guy. Don't be consistently getting to the promised land and just continuously to come up short, man. You can do it. Just be the off season, man. You switch some things around to be able to, get past that, get the monkey off your back,
Yeah, it can't be like that, man. We need to win those Super Bowls.
Let's see if we can hear Big Mac saying something. No, we can't hear you. Hey, why not you go back off and then try to go back in again? Like just
see if that green meter on your microphone go like up to the top whenever you speak before you hop on in there. Kind of check it with the mic setting.
How's it going, Corey Davis? How's it going, bro? Good to see you.
What's up, Corey?
What it do, Cole?
What it do, man? Yeah.
Hey, now Terradon, you can't be saying that because that was them two different destinations now.
No, Andy Reid had success, but it was just because at certain points, bro, if you've been there for too long, bro, enough's enough. Yeah. Shanahan's only been here for maybe about half of what Reid was with the Eagles, bro. He still has time. So I don't think there's no reason to get rid of him anytime soon. I'm not against the campaign of firing him. I've never said it. I said he needs to evolve better. Learn to keep players healthy. Learn to adjust in the big games. That's all I'm asking for from a head coach. But a lot of these other Niners communities, from those other fans' perspective that go in my comments, they're already thinking I'm like one of those guys that's against it. I said, no, I don't think firing him will make the team any better. I just think he needs to do a lot better and be held accountable. So there's a big difference.
Yeah, when he's up by 10 points in the Super Bowl, he needs to call better plays instead of passing. He should have ran out the clock, handoff to he's on the Dolphins right now. You know who I'm talking about.
McDaniel.
Mostert.
Yeah, they should hand off to him and let that clock go down. I think we'll have that Super Bowl in 2019 against the Chiefs. But they were passing, so then the clock didn't go down too much.
See, okay, and this is the type of coach we're hoping to get, man. Like consistency-wise, Mike Tomlin is another great example. He's been around with the Steelers for so long because he wins. Shanahan just needs to learn how to have a healthy team and be consistent. The one thing I can take away from Tomlin is the guy's won a Super Bowl, and he's been there and done it, but he hasn't done much for quite a while, but he keeps the team contending. That's what I can say about Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
That's where I'll give him his credit, and the defense always plays their heart out there.
Yeah. And I think in the 16 years he's been a head coach, he hasn't had not one losing season. And I think he made the playoff pretty much a majority of his stint there, as a head coach.
And that's where I can give him his credit there. And see, I like these kind of
last year. He didn't make it last year.
He didn't.
Yeah, that was the first year in I think 16 years that he didn't make it. So that's a long stint to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a first time head coach and never necessarily having a bad, the Yipsies, you know what I mean? In a very tough division as well.
It is a very tough division. Oh, let's see if Big Mac's
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. I was messing with it because the sound of my computer is freaking so loud, and I'm like, I don't want to have echoing going on. So if there's no echoing, then I won't mess with anything.
It's all good, man. But we can get on the topics of what we were saying. We can get on the critical of Kyle Shanahan. We were on the Kyle Shanahan topic. I know we were trying to get to the running back topic, but your volume was in, and then everything got mixed in. Let's get on to the topic of Kyle Shanahan. What's your biggest criticism on him?
Not using the players that we have at the right moments. Let's just go back to JP. Dude, I was so frustrated almost the whole season. I'm like, why are you running CMC right down the middle when you got a back that can do that for you, right? So that was like really critical of that. Just like a lot of little tiny small little plays that he calls, and you're just like, what the hell was that for? Why did he do that? Right? It's like it's so obvious that all you needed was to do this, and then he goes and does something else, and you're like, are you serious? You could have won a couple of Super Bowls too if you just kind of tweaked or let somebody else call some of the plays sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah. That he has that little conservative nature at times where you be like, sometimes, Kyle, you don't have to outsmart yourself. Sometimes you just say Imano versus Imano. My 11 versus your 11. My superb skill position against your so-so defense. And I'm just going to put a fullback in. And, hey, CMC, I'm going to have you line up in the slot. And I'm going to bring in a Elijah Mitchell or a TDP or a Jordan Mason. And I'm going to put in my guy, Kyle Juszczyk. We're going to do a little motion. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. But we're just going to pound it. Trent Williams 3 times in a row. Something of that nature where you can sit and say, don't overly complicate certain things in a red zone. We know that CMC doesn't necessarily push the power. That doesn't mean he's a bad running back. It just means that's not his strength. So when you have other players that can be the hammer, let them be the hammer. You know what I mean? And I think we've seen that as well. I was glad this year we got Kittle a little more red zone opportunities because that was one of my criticisms of him as well because George Kittle being athletic as he is, as strong and as sure-handed that he can be, I didn't think he got a lot of red zone attempts. Not until the half of last year. But until then, he was almost a red zone Casper. He was a ghost. You know what I'm saying? We never really got the opportunity to see him make a lot of those touchdown catches, And so those type of criticisms of Kyle kind of, for me, is one of my issues. And then, again, just not going for it in certain situations in fourth down when you're on, past the 50 on our side, marching in. It's like, hey, man, if we've been having a top 5 to a top 10 defense over the last 2 years. I think that's when you go for certain calls, fourth down and 2, fourth down and 1. Hey, Kyle, man, come on, my guy, cook it up and go for it. Because to me, when you do those things, it shows that you have a trust in your players to say, hey, I think you're better than these other guys. And then also it shows the defense like, hey, man, we trust you guys to have our back. So when I go for this ball, this 4th and 1st or 4th and 3, whatever the case may be, I trust that you guys can make the stop, get a 3 and out, and give us the ball again, and we can kind of continue to have all 3 phases working together as one. And so I do believe Kyle has the opportunity to grow in those certain aspects. I believe, hopefully, Brian Greasy being back there this year will expand the offense a little bit and make them a little bit more of a I guess more of a threat when it comes to those short situations.
Well, short down, they should have just took the plays like the freaking Eagles did, right? Rugby scrum, hike the freaking ball back, let Kyle's check go and hike the freaking ball and get that first down. The freaking Eagles did all of that, but we've done it before with check under center. So like 4th down and 1 or 4th down and 3, the freaking Eagles just showed everybody that you can do those plays and get first downs. So
yeah, and the problem with in the past, bro, that I never understood about Shanahan was, dude, why don't we just stick back to the running back by committee, bro? A lot of the running back injuries have been stacked, bro. Like, why does he keep using them like future backs all the time? Like, why not you split the carries and go with, like, McCaffrey's been injured in Carolina because they've used him too much. And we've used him a lot to where he got a little hurt, but lucky for him, he was able to stay healthy. But like David, bro, doesn't it kind of feel frustrating how we just overuse our running backs and that's why the injuries keep stacking up?
Well, you remember what back in 2019, it was running back by committee, you know, and I'm wondering how he got away with that. It's like Eli Mitchell or CMC are 2 running backs that are in there. And even though we have Jordan Mason sitting on the bench who broke off a 55-yard run to steal that Seattle Sea Chickens game in Seattle. And then we got, you know, TDP, the 3rd round pick. I'm really not liking that. Also sitting on the bench. So why not split up the carries? You know, use CMC as a slot receiver. Use use him as a Swiss Army knife he actually is. Let's not beat the guy up. Let's keep him around all year. You know, when it comes to Eli Mitchell, he's a talented running back, but man, that knee, you know, it seems to be the same knee every time, and I don't know what you can actually do about it. You know, it always seems to be the MCL too, doesn't it?
Yeah,
a lot of the injuries keep adding up with that. But why does Shanahan treat certain quarterbacks like Trey Lance like a running back, bro? Like, why does he do that? Like, I just never understood it, bro. He did it with RG3, right? But why is he doing it with Trey Lance? He has no problem doing it with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. And it's mind-boggling, right? Like, is it okay for me to criticize Shanahan on the quarterback issue, bro? Like, maybe that's why it's adding up injuries, but you're treating the guy that you trade up so many spots for, you treat him like a freaking running back.
Hey, you preach to the choir right there, man. Look, you know how it is when you got, say for instance, if you have the ability to buy 2 cars, and say for instance, one car is your everyday work car, and then you have the other car is like your weekend car. You know, when you and the lady or you about to go out with the fellas, you bring out that one car, you know what I'm saying? But you don't drive that car Monday through Friday. You bring it on the weekends, you know what I mean? And so I was thinking about that. You got a first-round draft pick that you spent so many I mean, he's a young guy. It's the quarterback position, so it's the most important position in the National Football League. You would think that if you look at our history, I don't think we had not one year have we had consecutive running backs that has led the team in rushing. Not one year since Kyle Shanahan has been there. So, in my opinion, you would think after 6 years, if your running backs want to stay healthy, you know good and well your quarterback ain't gonna stay healthy if you're running him as well. Just looking at the data and just looking at some of the smaller, just the sample size in front of you. So you would think, know who I'm not gonna run all the time is my quarterback. I'm only gonna run him at the end of the year when it's week 17 or it's the first game in the playoffs and say, hey man, now you can start using your legs, use those things to kind of throw defensive off, but not in the first 8 to 10 weeks when you have Elijah Mitchell, TDP, Jordan Mason, Deebo Samuel, like Kyle, you got a plethora of running backs that you can go in and have them get some of the yards that you would have in your quarterback get. To me, that made no sense with the injury history that we have had with not only our quarterbacks, but then also our running backs as well. So to me, if y'all could tell me why he was doing such a thing, my ears are wide open, and I'm definitely willing to listen to see what do you guys think about that.
Oh, hey, let's welcome Dion. Hey, how long were you waiting, bro? I didn't even see you there.
Yeah, I think
No,
you're.
I
I think
just
you're
got
right,
here.
man. You know, like push.
No, I was talking to
push.
Dion.
Oh, I was talking to the other guy who just talked.
Nah, but how long were you waiting, Dion? Didn't see you there.
Oh no, it's just a few seconds, bro. You good? You are good.
Oh, all right, bro. Hey, but Dion, bro, it's good to see you back. I know there's been going on, bro, but hey, man. So, what do you think of what's going on with the Nets, bro? What's the new approach that we got to do going into this?
It's just going to be the fact that they need to solidify the online, find themselves a center and a right tackle. If that guy already isn't in the building, find him wherever you need to find him, whether it be XFL, USFL, whatever you need to do. Guy coming out of college, draft, free agency, however you need to figure it out to be able to get the the line solidified that way. Standing up right. When I came in, Twin was doing nothing but spitting facts as he always does. Shout out to man with the beard gang. It's just a simple situation of them understanding the truth of it. Don't run your quarterback if you don't have to. I've always felt like you need to give Trey Lance the opportunity to run when he needs to, and tell him this is an option if there's nothing else for you to do as far as throwing. Don't build it into the system where you're running him like crazy, because then you see what happens. Now we got a broken ankle and we wind up going through 4 quarterbacks in one season. So for me, solidify that O-line. Make sure you get yourself a solid defensive tackle opposite of Eric Armstead. I do think that the edge is fine. You just put Drake Jackson in and have him be a 3-down backer and make sure you get somebody solid to back him up. And to be honest with you, the beauty of it is with Steve Wilkes here, our DBs are only going to get better. So, he could probably dig in and find something with, Ambry Thomas and figure out why he just magically disappeared, and make Diamador Lenore better, make Womack better, make sure that we have Mooney sharpen his skills and everything. So, possibly we bring back E-Man, get him on a deal for the low, So there's a variety of things that we can do, but the number one thing is to solidify that O-line and not be playing musical chairs during the offseason, because I hated that. I didn't like the fact that they were shuffling offensive linemen in and out. Typically, everybody has their O-line set, and when you're moving guys around, it's from the second to the third team. You're shifting those dudes here and there because those are the guys that you're trying to try out and see what they look like versus the talent that you currently have in-house. But when you're playing musical chairs with the starters and you're not allowing them to gel properly, and these dudes never played out because they gelled pretty quickly and it didn't look too bad, but there were some times where it was questionable. Jake Brindle was the king of legal man downfield penalties when it came to offensive line. So we just got to get those things solidified, and I think we'll be perfectly fine. Honestly, the longer it takes for Brock Purdy to come back, the more time it gives for Trey Lance to take the reins and not give them back. If he has to, if he keeps pushing the surgery back, he's not going to be ready for the beginning of the season. They're going to have no choice but to go with Trey Lance. And then the other thing is just find themselves a worthy third stringer, that'll be able to do it. I think Sudfeld's back on the market. You can pull him in since he knows the system, even though they felt that Purdy was better. And they went with him. You can still just bring him back on a small deal. Say, hey man, the system. You already been here. We're just gonna have you here as a third string guy, and that's the case. But that's pretty much all you really have to do. I don't think we need. We don't have too many glaring holes. Probably a linebacker, just due to the fact that we lost Aziz. But I did see that they signed McCrary Ball to a weird deal, so that tells me they may.
Yeah. Macquarie Ball has those unique skill sets. I heard that he's actually has that 4 speed or 4-5 speed, but very good off the line of scrimmage plays. So he kind of gives you that depth chart that you're looking for. But like you said, there's other guys that are going to test the market. Like Emmanuel Mosley, I don't know about the low price, bro. I heard his market value is going up to $16 million, bro. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, but coming off the thing is coming off an ACL. I mean, yeah, people are going to pay you, but then at the same time, you still got to be able to get out there and perform. And coming off an ACL, though his market value may be up at 16 mil, he's honestly probably going to get no more than about 10. And it's only because of the injury. Teams lowball you when you have an injury. They do it all the time. So it's like if somebody doesn't pay him an absorbent amount of money that we can't, match in any way. What's going on, Corey? Then yeah, you want to be careful about that. But I honestly think we might be able to get him in for, probably about 5 to 7 million, as long as somebody doesn't come and drop a big bag in his pocket. If they do, I'm not knocking him. Go get your money, because the NFL usually stands for not for long. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, most definitely. But see, the problem with him is I think his value is going to go down because of what you said about the ACL injury. But like, hey, David, don't you think that E-Man's kind of too much of a price coming off an ACL injury?
I truly think he is. I mean, I saw a report saying his market value is around 14 million, and it's like, he's not going to be ready to start the season, So at this point, I think 5 to 7 million for a year is fair. But it's also we have Demo Lenore, who is playing pretty good. So do we actually sign him, or do we, let someone else sign him? I mean, I would like to bring him back because of how well he was playing, and it would give us the opportunity to put Demo at nickel, and then all of a sudden, what's offense is going to do against us?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So Corona, man, what's your thoughts of the value of E-Man, man? You think it's too much for an injured player?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because if he was not injured, we should pay him the money what he wants. But he's injured, and he can't stay healthy on the field. Like, why pay him the money he wants?
Big Mac, man, does that value seem too much high for E-Man or no?
It's too high. I wouldn't pay him that. It's way too high. I mean, they brought Wilkes in for a reason. There's a reason why he came in. We have some young guys that are waiting in the wings, and I really think that Ambry Thomas is going to show some light this year.
Hopefully.
Because of that signing. Hopefully. I mean, he did it last year, and then this year he disappeared. So I think that signing, and I think the other signings talks more of what they're going to do with our quarterbacks and whoever they bring in. I have really high hopes for Trey Lance this year, just because Brock Purdy, I don't think he's going to be ready. I mean, he tore some tendons. Those are big injuries, man. I mean, even if he comes back, there's still going to be the thought in his mind psychologically, can I still do this out here and not worry about my arm getting hacked to shreds if somebody hits it? So I don't see a timeline for him to be coming back in until like late November, early December. And still, just look at our defensive end, Nick Bosa. He got hurt. He wasn't 100%, but when he got 100%, defensive player of the year, right? So that's I mean, if I was an NFL guy, like, and I'm not going to be playing for long in the NFL, I would just look at my future and do what I need to get healthy and everything, and then come back and be freaking a way better football player than I was before. Because those injuries, man, they take a while to get back. Even though the doctors may say you can come back at this time and this time frame, still the psychological issue is still there. And am I going to get hurt if somebody swipes at my arm again? And so I feel bad for Brock Purdy. Hopefully that he can get back, but I think, man, he should just take it easy and not worry about that. Not get rushed back in, because the last thing you want to do is get rushed back in, get hurt again, and then you're sitting for another year or two.
Absolutely. But hey, Twin, so does E-Man have a good argument for the value, or you think he's just too much?
Hey, man. Oh, E-Man. I think E-Man means he's exiting, man. You know, what E-Man mean right now. He's exiting stage left or maybe stage right. Like again, at 14, 12, 14, $16 million, man, that's a lot of money. Especially after we just finished paying Travaris Ward. What up, Mooney? Again, like someone just said, we brought in Steve Wilkes. That guy is a DB coach. He started, his NFL career as a DB coach. I believe he will shore up our secondary. I believe, like Dion said, and also our safeties position. We do have Walmack, in my opinion, who's a ball hawk. I do believe Ambry Thomas probably would have played a little more often, but he was injured a lot this year. The injury bug really got him, so he didn't get repetition. And anybody know if you want to play the DP position, you need reps. And it's one thing to have your shoulders hurt, but if your ankle, any lower extremity that's hurting as a DB, you're in trouble, especially if you have lower extremity injuries and you play in the slot. Because in the slot, you got free reign. You know what I'm saying? The slot wide receiver got options. He can go left or right. You can't necessarily predict or push him to one side like you would if you're playing on the boundary. So I think that really did hinder his ability to come back and get healthy because teams would have just picked on him. So, I mean, I'm quite sure you say, hey, E-Man, come in here. Let's have a cup of coffee. You know, this is what we can give you. Next year, maybe you can go out there and test the market. You just need to show that you can stay healthy. But other than this right here, this is our number, and we can't go past this. Possibly our guy, D'Amico Ryan, would say, come down here to the Texans, or even a division folk could look at him and be like, hypothetically speaking, if the Rams end up losing Jalen Ramsey, you might say, hey, Emmanuel, we played against you guys. I played against you, since your entirety of your career. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? And so, but if that's the case, we wish him well. But we got to believe in the totality of the team to come in out here and make some moves. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and then it is what it is with a business move. But hey, the bright side is Mike McGlinchey. We won't have to see this guy ever again. Hopefully,
What happened?
His market value is going too high, man. Like very too high. Like what's the market value once again? I heard $18 million for this guy for the tackle position. Which
hell no.
Your right tackle position is roughly like the top tackles are making about 18 million. The thing is I think what they're going to do is they're going to probably allow him to test the market, see whatever they offer, and if he doesn't get anything that he feels is worth it, he'll be back. No, McGlinchey may suck at pass blocking. He's still a good run blocker. His pass blocking did improve a bit this year. He wasn't as bad, so it's unfortunate, but you may see him back. You can't count him out, man.
He can always find a discount. He can always find a reasonable to come back here. But why not we try to pursue Khalid McGarry, man? He's a little better than Mike McGlinchey, if not better as a pass blocker. But I know David feels the same way about Mike McGlinchey, man. You don't want him back, right? You don't want Mike McFloppy back. You want him back.
I really don't. He can sign elsewhere because how our offense is, and we got a glimpse of this with Brock Purdy and all those games he won. When we start throwing the ball around, having Mike McGlinchey out there is a liability. Having a right tackle that's better at pass blocking and maybe average, if not a little bit above average at run blocking, is what our offense needs. Not a guy that's really good at run blocking and just abysmal at pass blocking.
Absolutely, man. Like we need both sides of it in a way. And Corona, what do you feel about Mike McGlinchey, man?
Yeah, same thing what McNina said. Like if he would block those guys and coming in, I don't think Brock Purdy would got hurt. So yeah, just let him go. Sign somewhere else. Get somebody better.
Somebody better. I mean, who else can be better? Maybe you switch Burford to his natural position. Maybe you don't have to go expensive, but there's a cheaper option to do it.
Justin School.
No, I'm thinking McKivitz, man. He's a free agent. He would be a cheaper option. He's not as bad, He's decent, but Big Mac, bro. How do you feel about Michael McGlinchey?
Who? Who's that?
Mike McGlinchey.
I know. Who is that?
Is he flipping burgers at Burger King? Because he looks like he can have it his way.
He can have it his way somewhere else, man. I mean, that guy just looked terrible. I was like screaming at the freaking TV, like, what the hell is this guy even doing in there playing? I mean, but then he did some run blocks that was pretty good, but that's not gonna work, man. We're looking to get a Super Bowl, not looking to just make it to the NFC Championship game. We need a Super Bowl, and we need to. I mean, he's been here. We need to get rid of him. He just needs to go.
He looks like the dude Spaz from Good Burger, bro. He's not all that great, bro. He's got that technique of flipping burgers, but eats flies and all that stuff, and he's weak as a pass blocker.
And he's got both of his legs together all the time. Every single freaking play I see him, his legs are like tied together or something, man. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah. No, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? That Spaz from Good Burger. That's
Oh yeah. Welcome to the Good Burger. Can I get your order?
Oh, the dude that doesn't say much.
Hey, I really do believe.
Guy.
I really do believe we finna get real young on the offensive line, though. It seems like Chris Forrester probably, like, we see what's going on with Banks, Bruford. We know that Poe won the, I guess, training camp Player of the Year award, stuff, and they drafted a couple guys last year, but didn't necessarily play this year. Similar to how Aaron Banks, he was stuffed off last year. Nobody knew what was going on with him. Everybody was like, he's a bust. We didn't see him. We don't know what's going on. He was out of shape. Like, remember, it was a lot of rumblings, but he came in this year. He was prepared. As he got more repetition, he began to understand his technique better. The offensive line got some chemistry, got in the groove. That's with the left guard. We got the new right guard as well with Buford. And I believe Poe may come in, whether he's playing center, whether he's playing right guard, and then you move Buford out to the left. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, I feel like they're going to move this offensive line to the next regime, in my opinion, as far as what the offense will begin to start to look like. We went from a really heavy run base over the last 5 to 6 years, and maybe they may start to explore the opportunity to go a little more vertical, a little more pressing the boundaries a little bit. You know what I mean? And so, to me, you want to transition with some type of chemistry with players that can grow together. We may keep, like I said, we go keep my guy Trent Williams, but please don't waste no time. Well, please hurry up and draft somebody else to play left tackle too. So don't trust that he's going to be there. And we're going to have a nice little young set of guys, maybe from 22 to like 25, and they can grow over the next 3 to 5 years together and age with the offense. You know what I mean? Because sooner or later, you're going to have to really establish this offensive line being the key, and then you can allow the quarterback, if Trey Lance could be who we think he can be, you can continue to plug and play different skill positions. But as long as he can be upright with the offensive line, you know what you can do with running backs, whether it's CMC and other guys that may come in who are 6th to 7th round or even undrafted picks. So as long as you have that offensive line solidified, I think you have the opportunity to expand your offensive playbook. We can start seeing some things like some more big plays, and big plays to me are considered the 25 and beyond passing plays are down the field. I don't think I've ever seen Brandon Ayuk in the last 2 years catch a pass that was 25 yards down the field, in my opinion, or even Debo as of late. They don't catch these balls, or we don't even have these attempts. So I believe as we get a quarterback and an offensive line that, like my man said below, who can actually pass block, we'll begin to see a different type of offense that can continue to play. I know, like, Brock scored 30-plus points per game, but it wasn't real explosive plays. They were matriculating down the field. But I think when we can do both, matriculate and then also hit you with the three-pointer, as I like to say, then we'll become a very dangerous team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know how Dion feels about Mike McGlinchey. I'd like to hear what he got to say.
As far as me, man, look, he can stay or he can go. Kind of doesn't matter. I don't like his pass blocking. Never have. Like I said, it improved a little bit this year, better than in previous years. But either way, I do think that we can get a right tackle, possibly that's either already sitting on the squad or someone that we might be able to pick up in free agency and or the draft. honestly, I've been watching the XFL purposely just to look at any right tackles for any of those teams, just to see if, how these guys are holding up, what they're doing, because their league is somewhat similar to what we got. But I think that if McGlinchey goes, he goes. If he stays, he stays. If he stays, the only reason I'm saying if he stays, he stays is because I don't put it past this franchise to do that. We all thought that Jimmy Garoppolo was finally out of here, and what happened? He wound up signing, and kicking it on the sideline, smiling and shit. And it is what it is. But if he goes, he goes. If he stays, he stays. Hopefully, we find somebody to replace him and do what we need to do. But honestly, it doesn't matter to me either way. I just want to make sure that the O-line is solidified so that Trey Lance has the best chance to win.
Yeah, the only thing that McGlinchey can do better at is go back to flipping good burgers like Spatch.
Mm-hmm.
But in all seriously, dude, there's a lot of better stuff we can fix during free agency. I mean, we can try to look for ways to improve our secondary because we don't know if we're going to bring back Jimmy Ward because I think Jimmy Ward's he wants to play free safety. And I just think what happened this season, I don't know if he wants to come back, man, because the way he explained what happened was he didn't want to play nickel. And I guess this kind of got my attention. Usually I can care less what Ward says. But when Shanahan told him straight up, do you want to play nickel or do you want to sit on the bench? That kind of rubbed him the wrong way. I mean, Twin, don't you think that kind of rubbed him a little bit or not?
Oh, especially Jimmy Ward, man. The type of personality that he has, man. Jimmy be out here. He oozing with confidence. He oozing with swagger. He gonna keep it a buck. He gonna keep it a bean. He looking at Cal like, hey, what you say? Oh, so you try to mess with my money, right? I could sworn I was on the top 100 last year with my peers voted me on as a top safety, and this is after 2 years of people not necessarily knowing what I do at the safety position. But you want to sit here and say, hey, my guy, I need you to play nickel, knowing that the price difference is about $3 to $5 million. I ain't no millionaire, but if you tell me $3 to $5 million, that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? That you trying to sit here and kind of cheat me out of as the longest tenured 49er player that we have on the roster. So not only are you go backhand slap me, but then you go tell me here's some poo-poo and you go expect to say, oh, it tastes like honey. You're like, nah, bro, wait a minute. Like, don't do me like that, my guy. So I think Jimmy not approving of that. He's probably going to look and tell, hey, what's my D'Amico Ryans? You need somebody kind of, hey, I'm here, my guy. Send me to Texas. Look, no taxes too. I lived in California for the last 11 years as well. Man, look, send me down there to Texas. Let me get a break when it comes to my taxes. And I'll definitely go out there and play for you. And I think that was a big mistake that we did because now nobody knows what my guy Gibson is going to do as well.
Yeah. Hey, Big Mac, how do you feel about it, man? Like what Jimmy Ward says, man.
Man, I was just thinking about how Jimmy Ward says that cheese tastes different in Wisconsin. It just hits different. And what Kyle Shanahan told him, it just hit him differently. So I don't know if he's even having second thoughts of coming back to the Niners. Because if you're gonna do that to somebody and you're like messing with his money, and you know how good a player he is, he's just gonna go somewhere else. That's just me saying that, but I think that's what Jimmy's thinking in his mind. That just hit me differently.
It kind of gives me the Eric Reed vibes a little bit because remember how Eric Reed was our safety, right? And they had him move the linebacker a little bit, which wasn't something he wanted to do.
Exactly.
That kind of seems like there's the end of that situation. But I know Dion's got something to say about that, bro. I mean, as much as I'm not a big fan of Jimmy Ward and never will be, but I feel for this guy. That's kind of like lowballing him a little bit on his value a little bit because he's a safety.
I think it's just a situation where they know what it is, and Jimmy knows what it is. And honestly, he wants to be somewhere where he can play safety. The guy played out the rest of his contract, making himself money. Why? Because he was on the field, he was making plays, and he looked good while he was doing it. Yeah, he had a couple of little brain farts, some stupid penalties, but what player doesn't? No one's void of not having a penalty all year long. And to be honest with you, I have to agree with Twin. He wants to play safety. So he'll go where they're going to allow him to do exactly what he wants to do. And it's not outside of the realm possibility for him to go to Houston. Why not? You don't have any state taxes. You can go down there. I mean, shit, with the money that Jimmy Ward was making in California, he could buy 7, 8, 9, 10 houses.
Miami too. Miami. Byron Jones just retired too. Just throw it out there.
So when you have the luxury of those things, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. And he knows that D'Amico will allow him to stick to safety and not force him to play out of position. And it's not like he was bad at it. It's just that was not something that he wanted to do. So while he was very truthful about the situation that happened, at the same instant, he's got to do what he's got to do. I got to make my money. I still got to be able to come out here and support my family. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to bust my ass, work hard, and that's going to be it. So I'm not mad at Jimmy Ward for feeling how he feels. And will he be back next year? High probability of no. I'm going to say like a 80-20 on him leaving versus him staying. It just doesn't seem likely just due to the fact that he's going to want money. Plus, he's going to want to stay at his position. And he knows if he's here and we, by some freaking nature chance, can sign him and Gibson, he knows it's not going to happen. So he'll go where he feels he can, do what he needs to.
Yeah. And David, man, I know this kind of is an interesting topic. I mean, this kind of got my attention. And Jimmy Ward, bro, I got to give him his credit. I'm not a big fan of him, but he was the longest tenure of this team, and he was the voice of the locker room at times. He had a mouth, but I have to say he was a natural safety. I just never saw him more of a nickel. But this season alone, 3 interceptions playing that nickel spot, that kind of shows you his versatility is underrated in some ways. And as far as being his biggest critic and calling him in the top 100 list, bro, I called him out and said, man, that's an overrated list, but he shut me up. I got to give him his props for that one, man. But, David, give me your thoughts about it.
Well, when it comes to Jimmy Ward, I would like to honestly retain him. But at this point, I don't know if he wants to come back. And if he don't want to be here, then I don't want him here. It's just, I mean, that's just the way it is. We had Gibson. Gibson's talking might be retiring. And, I mean, Jimmy Ward could be worth 10 to 12 million a season for a couple seasons. And we can't afford that. Not with paying all our top-end talent that we currently have. We just can't afford that. And, I mean, he played pretty good at nickel. He got burned here and there, but he still got 3 INTs and always seemed to be there when someone needed to be tackled. So, I do like Jimmy Ward. When he first started his career, I was thinking, man, this guy's never going to stay on the field. That's just what I thought is, he's never going to stay on the field. What is going on? And as he went and he did get healthy and was on the field, yes, he's a very talented player. But he's probably more than likely going to be pricing himself out of being a 49er.
Pretty much. It seems like it. Corona, we'll get to that. You can tell me what you think of it, and then we'll just answer one last question, which I think Terradone wants to know what the difference of trading these type of players, but
I think everybody said it, like if he doesn't want to play nickel and he wants to play safety, like everybody's saying, if he doesn't want to be on the team and somebody gives him the more money, maybe D'Amico will give him the money or Houston and just send him over there, So yeah, pretty much. Yeah, everybody said everything I want to say.
Oh yeah, I mean it's tough. It's business perspective. I can understand if Jimmy Ward had to go, but okay. Terradone has a really good question, and I'm intrigued by this question because one, Eric Armstead could be a good trading candidate, but how are you going to replace his versatility? That's the question. But would it count against our dead cap if we were to trade Armstead, bro? Let's say hypothetically we can get a 2nd-round pick or something like that. Like, Dion, do you think it affects the cap a little bit, or does it does it go away from there?
From what I know of the way the cap works, it only affects it if you have to eat any of the money. It's all in like the guarantees. It's basically in the language of the contract, depending on what it is. And I think honestly, whenever you wind up trading a player, if there's no guaranteed money left, you typically don't have to wind up eating any of their money, depending on certain circumstances in the contract. Don't quote me on that. I don't have a full working knowledge of how all those contracts work. But from what I know, a lot of the reason that people wind up paying someone is because it's worked out in the trade agreement that you're going to eat a certain amount of the salary, or there's something in the contract that the NFLPA has put in there that says, hey, if you're traded before this time or this time, or this point in the season, certain things like there's language in the contracts that says basically, there are times where you have to eat money and times where you don't. I think it's more so pertaining to guaranteed money, but that's honestly my thought on that. And if you trade somebody and you get yourself like a first or second round pick, it's good, but honestly, Armstead ain't fetching that. Not on the open market. Armstead it gets you maybe a second at best, but a first rounder, nah, not by any stretch of the imagination. He doesn't have the production to warrant that kind of a trade.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case for it. I mean, but for Terradone's question, bro, I think I might need to bring in Jason Hurley in for this one, bro, because this guy's a cap space guru. He knows more. So I don't know if you guys want to chime in on that question, but it depends on our dead cap. But I would have to bring Jason another week for this one for a discussion on the caps and all that stuff because he knows more about caps.
Dion's right. Every situation is different. Depends on what the contract says. Let's use like Kinlaw. We're going to use him as an example. If we cut him, it's around a $5 million dead cap hit.
Mm-hmm.
If we trade him to someone, it's $2.2 million.
Yeah, because we're eating a certain amount of that. And then when it comes to like the fact that so basically if we trade him before the 5th-year option is picked up, someone else can pick him up and pick that option up that they want. But if we don't pick it up, when we trade them after that, then they can figure out what they want to do, work out a whole new contract or whatever it is that they want to do. But it's just how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works. But
he needs to step up too. In the last couple of years, he hasn't got too many sacks.
He's been injured, and they knew that when they drafted him. And that's my biggest issue with this team is you draft players and you want to redshirt folks, but stop. If you're gonna I've always felt like if you're gonna redshirt somebody from the later rounds. There's no reason that we should have drafted Aaron Banks and then redshirted him outside of the fact that Laken Tomlinson existed. So we were able to do that. But why did we pick Aaron Banks up in the early rounds to only sit him? For me, that's where I was like, I didn't like that because we didn't know necessarily what was going on with him. And, everybody was basically kind of looking down on him like, oh, crap, man, this guy's not worth anything. But hopefully, I guess this guy, Kalia Davis, is fully healthy and he's ready to go. They redshirted him. So hopefully the team figures it out, man, because this love of injury-prone players is driving me up the wall. It has been since this regime has started. I don't know whether John Lynch has a soft spot or Kyle has a soft spot or what, but,
All right, Big Mac. See you later, bro.
Since Kyle's been here, we've been the most injured team in the league. Like, this is no lie. Like, the statistics and the numbers are there. So that's the hard part.
All right, man. So Big Mac's got to get going pretty soon.
I got to run real quick, but if they are going to do a trade, the most interesting team that would probably trade for Eric Armstead would be the Jets because Robert Saleh loves Eric Armstead.
Mm-hmm.
So or the Texans.
That would be where it is. And then, either the Texans, but Robert Saleh, he loves Eric Armstead. Like, that would be the guy that will probably trade for him. And if we get a first round or a second round pick for him, great. And we don't know what the language is on the contracts, but that's on those. That's for somebody else. That's a lawyer and an agent. So it's not for us. Hey, appreciate you guys.
No problem. Anytime. Everybody go check out Big Mac Sports Channel. We'll come up next week again.
Easy, Big Mac.
Yeah, Big Mac, bro. He gets them Big Mac from McDonald's. I'm just playing. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. I really like him. He gets me on his channel every now and then. He puts on some good content if everybody's not too familiar with him. Especially Twin Empire, man. The man has a twin that's a big name out there too. I mean, he works with the big man, but I gotta get Law Nation on, bro. I mean,
yeah, Law man, he right now he's off. Well, he's doing something sparingly. I make sure, like I said, during his off season, try to link up. I don't think I've done a show with my bro since the Cowboy situation and whatnot.
He's a big deal,
ain't gonna lie, we're both bitter losers. You know what I'm saying? And once we had the week of winning, and then we lost, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I was like, I ain't really want to do too much nothing then. But me and my brother was talking about something, so we're trying to get back on within the next probably 2 weeks, right around combine and free agent. So we might hop back on then or whatnot.
Yeah,
man, it's just we sore losers and.
You a Cowboy fan?
No, I'm not a Cowboy. This is my brother. My brother's a Cowboy fan. He's like my man. He's a pretty big deal out there in the what you call
he's a big
content creator. Make sure you go out there and follow him, man. Law Nation, man. We trying to get to
channels.
Yeah, trying to get to 100,000. I think he had like 98, 97 right now, 1,000 people. So feel free to go out there. Both of you, man. Anybody, if y'all not logged on, it definitely help out your boy. Because it's my brother. It sucked that he's a Cowgirl fan, but the bigger he gets and the more opportunity that he gets out there, man. Once you hit 100,000, man, there's a lot more doors to open up for you. And man, I'm just really first and foremost, I'm proud as hell of my brother, man. Like that's first thing first, But yeah, please go out there and support, man. If you ever watch his channel, man, he's a good guy. He keeps clean content. He pushes out video all the time.
I think
I'm trying to reach out to him for quite some time. But
Yeah,
he gets hard on it. But I see that I got connections with you, bro. But I know that you're like the cooler one because you rep the right team, and I know your brother. But your brother, man, I ain't gonna lie. Despite his Cowboys, he does pretty good content. Even though
he does, man. I was on with him during the time that we was about to play the Cowboys and whatnot. So. He's definitely a good dude.
He was in my chat like a while back when I had Okoye Media in it. So he was there.
Yeah, him and Okoye, like I said, him and Okoye is cool. You know what I mean? They do a round table, I think, every Tuesday or something like that. And so I think, like I said, as I think the more I do content, because I don't do that much, honestly, but the more I do it, I'm quite sure he's more prone to kind of like, tag in and things of that nature. So I just gotta quit being, I ain't gonna say lazy, it's just my time.
We'll work a project, man. Maybe
well, it ain't that. It's just, man, my kids some days it's just like, sheesh. Look, I'll be done.
I mean, we got you back, man. We got you, man.
Does he have a short hair?
Yeah, he has a little short hair. He has like a little bob in his haircut.
I think I've seen his channel before.
He talks all that smack mostly, but he's a good dude. He puts on good content. Man. Like the one Cowboys fan that most people don't pay more. I mean, they pay a lot of attention to him because he's on volume now, but Vooch is the bigger dude.
Yeah, but so look, you don't know this. Like a lot of people don't know this. So we all from the same city, you know what I'm saying? And so my brother started like in 2015, 16.
Then he flew up the air.
Yeah, and he put Vach on, and like he started a lot. I ain't gonna lie. He's kind of he's one of the pioneers of like the people who are like independently growing channels for their favorite teams.
He's the one that did all the clips from training camp and all that stuff, and that's where studio started growing. Because I kept track of a lot of these guys, and I've seen how they grew their channels. He started off as a small name, then he started to go around and did what he did, which you got to respect the grind.
So for sure, man, if y'all out there, man, y'all make sure again. And so, fortunately, I'm gonna plug him because he's my brother. But if my brother, I wouldn't plug out another Dallas Cowboy.
You gotta get me on with him, bro.
For sure. Look, Law Nation Sport, man. Y'all make sure y'all check out his YouTube. He's on all social media platforms, man. If you just want to go and just see how different content creators come together and curate their shows as well. Whenever anything that we do, man, you can always go and find little nuggets that other individuals are doing as well. So, man, y'all go check him out. Y'all make sure y'all sub to the channel, man. And he's a good guy, man. So, yeah.
Yeah. Tommy's not quite a big fan of Okoye. Like, he just
Me neither.
No, he's not quite a big fan because I guess from what Tommy told me, I can't stand those biased Cowboy fans and all that stuff. I'm like, oh my! I mean, I get it. It's okay to be optimistic, but man,
You see, me and Okoye had out because
he's a good dude.
he gonna say Cedric Wilson was the equivalent of Deebo Samuel last year, and I was like, bro, you smoking good dope. I said, I don't know what y'all got in the Cowboy Nation down there, but bro, ain't no way in the HE double hockey stick that you saw Cedric Wilson and you saw Deebo Samuel, and you compared the two and said there were some similarities, boy. That is no way, no
That was a
how.
little off.
Hey, that was off, bro. And so then, look, I made sure this year when we play, I said, hey, what that was you said about Cedric Wilson, who ain't even on the team no more, looking like Deebo Samuels. I said, man, y'all tripping.
I mean, I get some of their takes a little bit. There's some that get a little too biased a little, but then there's some that get realistic, like I got nothing against Okoye. Okoye does good on his content. He gets a lot of followers, and he does a lot of film breakdowns, which I respect the most about. And
For sure.
sometimes if I ever need a Cowboys fan, I can always just call in his number, speed dial, he comes in. No problem. He's like that. I mean, but Dion, bro, we can't go wrong with all those Cowboy fans. Sometimes they may agree and disagree, but it's all love, man. It's all good.
So you gotta my number one thing with Cowboy fans is very simple. I only like the realistic ones. I don't like the ones that are unrealistic.
You don't like Simon's.
Yeah, don't okay. My thing is, so for me, just because these past couple of years have been disappointing, I've tempered my expectations. So now for the Niners, the number one thing I would say is, we're gonna make the playoffs. What we do at that point is game by game. I'm not calling the Super Bowl and none of that. Why? Because Shanahan just been letting me down every time he got in the playoffs. So I ain't gonna sit up there and and it's not all on him. I'm just saying that the team has not produced a Super Bowl, and I'm not into getting my hopes up to continually, But yeah, I mean, I ain't got no more patience.
That's what I said. I don't either.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Look,
I want the Super Bowl, but
think about it. 3 years. We done been close. We done been close enough in all 3 of those years. One time we actually went, and the other 2 times we were at the NFC Championship game, so we were right on the brink of it. So nobody can say, "Oh, well, you guys aren't competitive." No, we competitive. It just ain't enough. And there's always something that crazy that fucking happens that destroys whatever we have.
But Dion, you know what my nightmare is? If we got this close this many times and them stinking Cowboys win one the first time they get there, bro, you don't understand.
No, don't worry. You ain't got to worry about that. That ain't never going to happen on our watch.
Hey,
you won't hear the last of it, bro. They'll talk about it forever, bro. That'll be like the most annoying thing we'll hear all damn year.
Man, listen,
it's worse than the Rams.
Facts. It'll be 1,000 times worse than the Rams.
I don't care what nobody says. I'm just glad that Ramilia will continue to come in and he'll troll and he'll talk about 95 lives on forever and all that stuff. Here's the problem. Your team about to be torn apart because people going to be cap casualties, along with the fact that most of your team wanted to quit on you. We didn't know the status of what Matthew Stafford was going to be. Your head coach wanted to quit. AD wasn't sure if he wanted to play no more. Now you got Ramsey on the trading block. Y'all about to start losing people, and you about to start losing more games. And then sitting there with the worst record of any Super Bowl winner, all that the champs are here talk was bullshit all year. I'm sorry.
Champs are here.
It drove me crazy all year. It's like, well, I'm going to keep saying it until somebody else wins a ring. That's all you got to hold on to is the previous year because this year was trash. What your output was on the field was hot garbage. You finished at the bottom of the division with the damn Cardinals, and the Cardinals ain't going to do nothing but turn around and finish the bottom of the division again because they don't have anybody for offense. You're stuck with short Kyler Murray. And nobody wants to deal with that.
You might miss half the season because of the ACL injury. So
and then D-Hop, y'all pretty much almost all but said he on the trading block too. So it's like there's so many things that happen within our division. And for me, these Rams fans starting to become just as delusional as these Cowboy fans. They think every year, like we beat the Cowboys, and I guarantee you that at least 60% of that fan base was like, we win the Super Bowl next year. Bruh.
You won't hear it from the Rams because all they had was that
lost. Like, how are you automatically like? I don't understand where the confidence comes from because it hasn't happened. And no, we can't say that we've that's happened for us, but at least we've gotten close. At least we've been there on several occasions. We've been to 2 in the past decade. Y'all ain't even been to the NFC Championship game.
Dude, it's been a long time for the Cowboys.
It's been forever since they've even, made themselves relevant in any way, shape, or form. So it all just, for me, like I said, I don't like the fact that the Rams, continued all year to try to promote the fact that they had won the Super Bowl. But it's like, at the beginning of the season, that shit don't matter.
Oh, dude, look at their fan
attendance. It's not when somebody else wins a new Super Bowl. It's when the beginning of the season starts, because you know what? The Super Bowl becomes null and void. It's a whole new season, and unless you going right out balling and going back to back, which ain't been done since who? The Patriots?
It don't matter.
The Patriots were the most recent team to go back to back, and they ain't even done that.
A long time ago.
That was a long time ago. I think that was in like in
between 03, 04?
2010. Yeah,
that's been a while.
That was in the early 2000s. So they ain't even done that. Nobody's done that in forever. So with the teams rotating year in and year out, the only difference that we had was the fact that, outside of this Super Bowl, the last couple of Super Bowls were won by teams in their home stadiums, which has never been done in the NFL. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. But you know what? The one thing we don't want to deal with is Cowboys winning the Super Bowl, because we won't hear the end of it, and it will be 1,000 times worse than the Rams. And if the Raiders, for whatever reason, pulls off some weird miracle, we won't hear the end of it also. That would be a lot worse than the Rams also, because you hear this little bragging, delusional fan base that thinks there's hope, but in what way? See, I don't see no purpose of it, man. But for us, bro, we got to freaking go all in. I don't care about maintaining decades of success, bro. I can care less, bro. I want to cash in to win the Super Bowl. I want this team to cash all in, bro. You can't be scared of taking chances, bro. You got to swing the fences and take it. We got McCaffrey. I love the move, but we got to go all in, bro.
Yep. Every year, somebody getting a year older. Kittle, year older. Debo, year older. Trent Williams, year older.
He might have 2 more seasons left, and that's it. Trent Williams.
Facts. Armstead, year older. You know what I mean? Like, Kyle Juszczyk, I think he's like 32, 33.
Swing the fences, bro. We got to swing the fences for once, bro. We can't be scared of taking chances on cap space, bro. We got to figure out players that take friendly pay cuts and get whatever talent we need, bro.
Facts. And tell Kyle Shanahan during his offseason, hey, man, you need to become a daredevil. I need you to risk it all. You know what I mean? I ain't seen not one trick play in the playoffs.
Somebody said just recently that they would like, they would love it if Jed went down there and did the same thing Eddie D did, basically saying it's not even about the money. Just go out there and figure out who you need to get so we can get a Super Bowl.
Dude,
like, I need you to go out there and spend money, because the issue is you got Parag. And yes, we all like how Parag structures contracts. But the other thing is he doesn't like to spend money.
That's the problem.
It ain't even his actual pocketbook, but his job is to make sure that Jed doesn't wind up screwing himself. And I understand that. I do, but at the end of the day, Jed, you got to turn around and look at Parag and go, hey, man, look, we can afford to spend a couple extra dollars. As of right now, we can't afford to spend shit because we got about $2 million or a little over $2 million in cap space. So guaranteed, you will see a lot of 49ers news coming here in the next couple of months about restructures for several different players, because they have to move money around to create cap space, because there's a lot of players taking a lot of big chunks out of this cap space, man. 224 is good, but when you $2 million under the cap, that's still bad. You got to figure that out.
Oh, dude, there's different ways of what we can do to go swing in and go all in, bro. Get these players to convince to take a significant pay cut. Like, hey, do you guys want that ring or not? Take a big fat pay cut. Hey, there's a safety out there in Cincinnati that you can take a chance on, man. That guy is an all-pro JC Bates, bro. This guy is not coming back to Cincinnati, bro. Go
Yeah,
all
but he gonna come back. He ain't gonna come here and take a discount.
And he living in California.
Yeah, and living in Cali. Yeah,
In
like
Cali?
Cali, we got Cali. Believe me, I'm from Cali, as you can see on my hat. We got the worst tax bracket in the world. I think it's us in New York that are like the worst places to live as far as taxes are concerned because it's a ripoff, bro. Like they literally, I remember watching ESPN one day and they was breaking down Steph's contract like year for year. This was a couple years ago. They were literally breaking down what he actually sees. So you could be getting paid $30 million a year. And only actually about 10 to 12
man, that's what sucks about it is our tax and shit.
It is insane. And like you had a nice chunk go to taxes, then they got a retirement fund, and then you got money that goes here or goes like there's all kinds of stuff that goes on with these contracts. So while people look and they say, oh man, this dude's making $30 million a year. No, not really. Not after taxes and everything that you have to take care of. That 30 mil is going to look, depending more on your situation and where you live, that 30 mil could wind up all the way down to like 20 and maybe even 15. You know what I'm saying? It is really, really screwed up. And I mean, from just to be honest, we're not supposed to be paying taxes any damn way. Taxes are supposed to be for businesses in the beginning. If you look up the history of things, that's technically what it was supposed to be.
That's why Jordan
be for businesses, but it wasn't supposed to be for normal folk. And somebody in I think the early 1900s actually beat the system and went to court and never paid taxes for the rest of his life. And I wish I knew what the hell he did, because believe you me, I'd be in court trying to make sure I ain't paying shit.
That's probably the only downside to taxes.
Yeah, I live in California too.
Yeah, Jordan Poyer doesn't want to go anywhere there, but he would be a nice option to get. But no, I'm just saying if we want to go swing all the fences, bro, we got to go in for somebody like him. But I don't think we will. But
I'd love for just, if anything, if we moved all that money around, if we restructure, but if we go ahead and get Bosa a new deal, that will take a large chunk of money off of the cap this year. And then at the same time, if you honestly say you re-sign Bosa, you open up some money. Go give Deron Payne some fucking money and let that dude come in and be the hog that Javon Kinlaw ain't, and put Drake Jackson out there. And think about that. You got a line with Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Deron Payne, and Drake Jackson. You mean to tell me them quarterbacks ain't about to shit they pants? Yes, they are.
Oh, dude,
that front four alone can give you all kinds of hell. It'll work your all 5 of your offensive line, probably plus your tight end too.
Oh man, Deron Payne would be too much, bro. That's just. But dude, here's a guy that you can get, bro. Like instead of
get rid of Armstead,
but instead of regretting on, instead of regretting on letting
Armstead for Buckner, I ain't even gonna bullshit you.
If you made a mistake,
contract already fixed, so fuck it. I just would swap the deals, literally bring Buck back because I already know at least number one, he was a pillar of health. I think Defoe missed one, maybe 2 games the whole time he was here.
He was durable.
And he did, and I think that first year where Shanahan and them got here, the man had 12 sacks and didn't have no help around him. Come on now. Now I don't know what he's been doing since he's been in Indy, because he's been in Indy and I don't pay attention to the Colts.
Yeah, they might cut him. So.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, get this dude out there, get him his, he got his bread, he did what he needs to do. Usually as a defensive lineman, you get yourself about 1, maybe 2 contracts. And if it's a situation where he's, free agent, you can even slide him a little 1-year prove-it deal. Let him go get him paid elsewhere again. But, bring him back, bring him home so he could do what he needs to do. And I ain't opposed to having Defoe and Eric next to each other again. 2 big 6'7" motherfuckers with that kind of wingspan. Shit.
That's what got us to the Super Bowl that year.
Come up that middle if you want to. I guarantee you, boy, you ain't going nowhere.
Here's what we can do, bro. This is how we can bring back that 2019 vibe. Get Yannick Ngakoue as a passing down rusher. We probably get him on a really good deal. Bring back Defoe, or get Colin Sanders, bro. Man. If you may have let DJ Jones go, bro, at least you can correct your mistake and go get Colin Sanders.
But what you talking is the time when we didn't have a salary cap, because then we would have been fine. We'd been able to keep all these cats and just exactly see what Twin doing. We'd have made it rain in that office.
Body bag,
we
bro.
Worried about it, bro. And the only reason, and to be honest with you, hell, we literally are the reason for the salary cap. Teams were upset because Eddie D was out there spending money like water, And they was like, nah, we got to fix this shit because he just out here buying everybody up and we can't get no damn body. You know, I mean, hell, if anything, just be happy you ain't Buffalo, man. 4 straight Super Bowl losses, that shit got to be painful in the motherfucker. And just can't get back. You know, Josh Allen, all the talent they got there, man, it's a frustrating situation. But we got to figure out how to make sure that we get the money in right and, you know, get those numbers and crunch them, do whatever we got to do, and we should be fine. Sign a couple of cats and move on with life.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, but we've been going on for a long time, bro. It's been a good topic here, but you guys want to call it a day or keep it going?
Oh, yeah, man. I'm going to get up out of here.
Yeah, I know, man. We've been going on for like almost an hour, 40 minutes, bro. That's like great. Hey, we can, but we'll do it next week, man.
Mm-hmm. Be right back. Because then I think the combine start this week too.
Yeah, let's get that money, bro. Let's break the bank. That's what we're hoping for.
Right. Combine starts this week, so we'll be able to have some things to look at. Pay attention to the tackles, the centers. Probably pay attention to some line. I'm gonna be paying attention to tackles, centers, linebackers, and I always kicker too.
Offensive and defensive line, I'd pay attention the most.
I kid you not. I will be watching the DBs because that is my favorite position in football. So I watch them all the time.
Well, dude,
I always pay attention to DBs and safeties because we do need a strong safety. Technically, we don't have none. I mean, shit. Tavarius, Gip, and Jimmy Ward was all three of the guys. They all free agents. So, and I doubt we bring Tavarius back because he was injury prone for the past couple of years. And, you know, if Gip retires, he retires. Hopefully he doesn't, because if he doesn't, I'd love to bring him back because of, you know, chemistry that him and Huff have is, you know, it's unmatched.
It's going to be hard to do. But, man, dude, let's just call it a day, bro. We've been going on for almost 2 hours, bro. For everybody else, let's call it a day. We'll go on for more topics. But, hey, I'm going to just do a promote for you guys. A Twin Empire, tell everybody where they can find your channel.
What's cracking, man? Make sure y'all go to YouTube, type in Twin Empire, man. You'll see the boy. Well, you'll see the beard, not the boy. You know, make sure you hit that sub. Make sure you like the channel. Make sure you leave a comment, man. I appreciate it. And same thing, you follow me on Twitter, man. Twin Empire ×2. Make sure you follow. Make sure I give you a follow back, man. Salute.
For sure, bro. Hey, Dion, bro, they need to find where your channel's at. And I need to connect your channel into my stream.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that. Niner Gang Podcast on YouTube. You can catch me at SwiftD on Twitter and at 49er_Dion on Instagram. You know, you check out the stuff on YouTube. Usually I try to put out at least, you know, some content week by week. I'll be doing a little bit more now that the combine that came around. So, till then, we got to just, you know, hold on for more Niner news.
Yeah, for sure, man. And for David, bro, and the two Davids, bro, they're just a regular co-hoster. But, man, it is a great day, bro. So hopefully you guys have a great day. But, hey, for everybody else, we'll catch y'all next week.
See you next week.
Thank you. Not again, baby. Let's go.
Go Niners.